I'm not sure if anyone's watching yet, but basically you're watching Open Source Friday. Today I'm joined by Michael Solati. I hope I'm saying your last name right. From Amplication, and Amplication is an open source low code backend development tool. I'll let him explain it a little bit better than me. But hi, Michael.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is, I think, our second time actually being able to chat. Like you mentioned earlier, which our audience didn't see, our first time actually seeing each other. So this is definitely a super exciting experience.
Yeah, it is. I love to just I don't know, like put a face to the voice and the name and everything. So this is really good. Um how about you go ahead and like introduce yourself as well, like talk a little bit more about yourself and also what is amplication?
Sure. So my name is Michael. I am a developer advocate at Amplication. I've been in the world of software development for roughly the past 7 years now. I keep getting it wrong because for a while I kept saying 5 years, and then I realized the pandemic happened, so I had to add a couple of years to that. Um, but yeah, I started as a front end engineer after a coding boot camp in Connecticut. Got some good experience at dev shops and at ad agencies. And then I made the transition into developer relations, which I've been doing for now. This one I can do the math for nine, three, no, four,
4 years?
four-ish years now. Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's
Um,
impressive.
yeah, no, it's probably one of the best experiences. Okay, if you're a software developer, I'm not telling you that your job isn't rewarding in any way whatsoever. I'm just saying one of the highlights of being a developer advocate is the opportunity to go to meetups when they're happening and actually meet you developers and talk to you and learn about like what you are doing and figuring out if there's ways that we can help you build better stuff. I think in our previous conversation, I mentioned that I'm not going to make something that's going to change the world, but I love supporting developers that are going to be able to create that next amazing thing. And so for me, that's one of the highlights of being in developer relations is helping developers build amazing things.
Yes, I love the way you put that. I think there's like two types of software engineers in the world, the ones that like to build amazing things and the ones that like to support people building amazing things. I think we're the ones that like to support them.
Yeah, it's a lot really rewarding, and sometimes it's not just the developers who are building the next big thing, but sometimes it's someone just getting started at building an application. There's a
Yeah.
this is just a completely random rant, but since it's Open Source Friday, I feel comfortable
Yeah.
making this little diversion. But I maintain a an open source project that's
Ooh.
based around making geoqueries. And every once in a while, I like to look at on GitHub. Yay, talking about GitHub. Uh, I can see what public repositories are using my npm package that I publish, and then you end up being really surprised at how people are using your code. One of
Yeah.
my favorite things I've seen is there's this application that's helping people pair with dogs and cats that are in animal shelters based on location.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
I wasn't going to make that, but I
Yeah.
love that this exists, and I know that I'm supporting that in some sort of way. And so that's
Yeah.
like one example, not related to anything we're
You
discussing today, but I just
enabled
want to
that
put that.
though. You enabled that.
Well,
That's awesome.
that developer did the hard work, but I feel like I have at least like a 1% claim to being able to make that happen.
I mean, geoqueries, I don't know, maybe it's because I've never done something like that, but it sounds complicated to me. So you did some hard work too. But yeah, that's so awesome to hear. So you introduced yourself. What is app amplication? I know we talked about it on the Twitter space, but maybe people that were on the Twitter space, I mean, in this Twitch stream weren't on that Twitter space. So I'd love for like a little bit of an overview.
Of course. Application is a it's a tool that enables developers to build backends that are they're quality node applications. They are built with like authentication and security in mind. They're very scalable. They're extensible. So whatever code that's generated for the backend, if it doesn't quite work for you, that's fine. You can completely modify it or change or hook into the code wherever you want. Because unlike some backends as a service where it's kind of just a black box, like, yes, you can put things in and yes, you can pull things out, but getting inside the box and mucking with the code isn't really an option. We're not that. So we want to give you a lot of the benefits that you might get with services like AWS Amplify or Firebase.
Yeah.
But we want to give you a little bit more. We actually want to give you complete control over that experience.
Wow.
So, yeah, a tool for generating scalable, secure, quality Node applications with providing you API endpoint, REST API endpoints, and a GraphQL endpoint to do anything and everything that you need.
That sounds awesome. That sounds very, very cool. And I'm still having a hard time imagining how that's possible. So if you're ready for a demo, I'm happy to see that.
So here is amplication.com. So we're going to get started with logging in. We will log in and we will log in with our GitHub account. This should only take a second. All right, so we're introduced to our dashboard where we can see our different applications. I'm actually going to switch to this like demo workspace that I have here. And I'm going to get started with creating a new application. So we're going to start our application from scratch. And this is kind of maybe a little boring for some people, but we're going to just make the basic to-do list application. Ooh. So what does a to-do list need to have? You need to be able to handle user accounts because different users are going to end up using the to-do list application. And you also need, what is it? To-dos. So list the to-dos to do. Well, by default, Amplication starts with creating a user collection or entity, which this is a table in a Postgres database that's automatically created for you. It has all the fields that you might possibly need, and you can always add fields to it. So for user authentication, that's good to go. We don't need to worry about that. But the next thing that we might want to do is let's create something to do our to-dos in. So we'll create a table called tasks. We'll create that. And what sort of things will a task need? Well, I know that a task needs to know that if it's been completed. So I can add a field called completed. Close enough. I might have spelled completed wrong.
We get it. Completive.
Completive. Knowing if the task is completive, that should be required. So we'll set that required. And because this is it's either completed or not, that's kind of a Boolean state.
Yeah.
So I can choose to set this as a Boolean field. Awesome. And probably the only other things our tasks need is the actual task itself. So I will create a field, and I'll just call it text, and that'll be the text field for the task.
Yeah.
It'll be a required field. And the last thing we need is to know who this task belongs to. So I'll create a field called user, and this is how I'll be able to identify tasks to users. So we have our user field. This is going to be required. And over here, automatically, you can see that based on the name user, that we're assuming that this isn't a Boolean, this isn't a string, this is going to be a relation to a different entity or a relation to a different table that we have. And so we're associating that to the user table automatically. And so in this case, one task can be related to one user. That makes perfect sense given the context of what we're trying to do.
So Amplication just has that intelligence built in that if you create a user field, it's going to connect it to that user table that already exists.
Yes, absolutely.
That's impressive. Okay.
And so what you'll also see, I'm so excited you're excited about that. But what you'll also see is going back to our entities or tables. I'll use tables for now because I think that's probably understood by most people. If I click on user, I can see that a new field has been added called tasks.
Oh, okay.
And if I click on tasks, I can see that a user can have many tasks. So it automatically creates the relation between them as you would expect it. Now, theoretically, if we lived in a world where it should only be one user with one task, we can always toggle that field. And let's say if in reality, I'm going to switch that back because that's a horrible idea. Let's say in reality, user field and task is going to be related to something else, you could always change whatever entity or table you want to relate that to. So you're not locked in by the naming convention. You can just swap it however you want. We're just making a educated guess as to what you're looking for.
Okay.
So I mentioned that we also take into account like security and making sure certain things are not everyone should have access to every bit of data. Like that makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to our tables, entities. I'm going to click on tasks. And over here, we have this area called permissions. If I click on it, I can see the different, like, for the different CRUD commands, I can enable and disable them based on who I want to have access to.
Yeah.
So right now, viewing tasks, creating tasks, updating, all of them are, anyone is able to do it. But if I don't want people to be able to delete tasks, I can disable delete tasks.
Oh, gotcha.
And
what do we mean by public and granular?
So conceptually, we have something called, okay, first we have public. Public allows anyone to access this API endpoint. It is a unsecured API endpoint at this point. Granular lets me pick.
Oh, gotcha.
Actually, this might sound okay. So there's a concept called access control lists, which I think is common in backend development. I am not a backend developer; I'm a front end developer by trade, but I'm familiar with the term of ACLs. And the idea of that is different types of users should have different type of access to data. And so users are put on these access control lists, which we define them as roles. So you might have users, you might have admins and stuff like that. So I can say that users should have permission to the complete a field, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, so that's our granular, where we can define what fields users should have access to. And then we have our roles, which is like all roles have access to everything.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Sipping coffee, sorry. So once we have all that done and set in place, we can actually commit these changes in application. So I'll just do init commit changes and build. So this is generating a new build. This will take maybe 10, 20 seconds.
Okay. So far, I really like how easy it is to navigate and understand what you're doing. Like even where it showed the like tasks are one to many versus one to one or whatever. Like that relation, I think is good for people who may not have like a real understanding or really a lot of experience building out like relational databases and stuff like that. But that's just my one observation.
No, you're absolutely right. I think it's an awesome thing. So it's we've committed the changes that we've made to our backend, and so we can click on view code, and we can see that we have our server that's been generated for us, and we can click onto here's our task. I'll do task controller base file. What? And this is the file that's generated for our tasks. We can see that we have our create task, which you can see like all of these things that are added to it, but they're all kind of necessary things, especially if you're building a secured backend. So here we're saying, yes, we're going to verify the user using the ACL, checking the access control list. We're saying what users can access the data. We're saying that, yes, this create function is going to be from a post request. We're defining the data type being returned is going to be a task data type. And then we're doing the creating of the task right here.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So you can download this code and run it locally right away. But because we're all about you having code ownership. But like in the real world, chances are you're not just going to download code off of a website. Chances are you're working on GitHub. So we connect with GitHub. So I'll click connect with GitHub. And if I don't have a repository, which right now this org does, my GitHub org does not have any repositories. Okay. I'll just create a repository. I'll call this OSF, Open Source Fridays. Create the repository. And let's look at it. And so this created a blank repo on GitHub.
Yeah.
Let's get all this code into GitHub right now. So I'll just click rebuild, just so you guys can see what this actually looks like.
This is my mind is blown that just by you kind of just building out how you want the schema of your database to look, it's generating all these different files. And then I seen Swagger in there, so it also generates like API documentation for you, or
Yes.
am I what?
I will show you more in a second. Sorry, there's a lot, and I know there's only so much time, so I'm going to try to keep it together. So this is our initial commit that was created by Amplication. It opened a pull request against GitHub, and we can see some of those files that I showed in the code viewer on Amplication. These are all here. I am just scrolling through it really fast, but just so you know, like, it's creating the endpoints for users. It's creating the endpoints for our task. It's doing this data validations when you write data. It has so many of these things that are here. Like, oh, I guess it's technically not an interface, but here's the type for when you're going to query a user. Like, all these things are generated for you automatically. And so let's just, sorry, I had to scroll all the way to the top because there's just too many files. And so let's merge the pull request. And okay, we've added our code base right to GitHub, and we can work off of GitHub. And so just a couple more things on the Amplication website that I want to showcase real quick, especially because you mentioned the Swagger stuff, is if you go into your settings, let's go, where is it? It's the APIs and admins. So like I mentioned, we generate a GraphQL endpoint. If you don't want GraphQL, you can turn it off. We generate REST API endpoints that are self-documented with Swagger. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. I don't think this will do a lot of work with both GraphQL and REST turned off, but you can do that. And we also generate an admin UI, which is kind of like a easy way to just jump into the data and modify it. And you can enable that and disable that as you want. So I'm showcasing all of this because I actually have a little application. I just want to showcase real quick.
Okay.
Let's see how well this works. It'll also let me showcase the admin panel and stuff like that we had mentioned.
Cool.
Okay. So close. 100. Okay. So this is a basic application that we have created that's designed to showcase different restaurants. So I have a ton of different restaurants here. I can filter by different cuisines. So let's filter by American food. I can click on to any of these restaurants, read some information, and you can leave a review on this. And I'm showcasing all this because this is actually hooked up to a application project that I have. And so this is the admin panel that I kind of mentioned before, where I can see here's my users, which there's 2 users. Here's all those restaurants that I had before, the different cuisines that I had filtered, and reviews that people can leave. So like these are all different fields and all different tables I created in this project. So this is kind of a more complete project. And just to show like this is really kind of working locally, I'm going to leave a review on this 121 Fulton. I'll say, great food. Submit that. That review's over here. And if I go into the reviews in the admin panel, give this a refresh. There we go. Here's our 121 Fulton review. Great food. And the admin panel is really cool. Sorry, I'm rambling.
I'm into this.
We discussed relations. Well, reviews belong to restaurants. A restaurant can have many reviews. So when we're looking at this review in our admin panel, you might notice that the restaurant is a link. You can click on the restaurant. Here's all this restaurant data. And let's say 121 Fulton Street is now 121 Fulton Avenue. I know, crazy. Wouldn't happen. Save that. That should be updated. And so when we refresh this here,
it'll be reflected.
It won't be reflected apparently.
No, I see it. It's in the
Oh,
italics. Yes.
I changed the address, not the name. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the catch, though. Um, anyway, so yeah, this is a simple-ish project I have. I actually spent more time populating this application with data than I did with actually building the backend.
Wow.
But if you were a developer, and let's say you were working at Yelp, that's why I have this called Yamp. It's Yelp application. Let's say you were working at Yamp, and all of a sudden the higher ups are like, okay, this is all cool and dandy, but why can't we call this restaurant? Where's the restaurant's phone number? Like, how long would it take to add that phone number field?
Forever.
Yeah,
It would be
because you
so
have to
stressful.
update this in so many different possible places.
Yeah.
So let's do this with application. I'm going to find my Yamp. Here's my Yamp. Let's go to our entities. Let's go to our restaurant. And here's all the fields that a restaurant has. So let's just add a phone number field. I definitely know not every restaurant has a phone number, so this isn't going to be a required field. But this should all be good. Single line of text. Let's commit to changes and build.
Wow. And it doesn't, I feel like whenever I try to, this could be just me not being good at backend development, but whenever I've tried to add new columns and stuff like that, it really messes up the whole schema. And so this doesn't do that.
It will not be a concern.
Wow.
Everything is handled or generated by us, and we're writing the code for you. Though
Wow.
you might want to read the readmes we generate,
Okay.
but other than that, you should be good. So let's open up GitHub. So this created a pull request with this new telephone number field. And if I go to files change, I can see 19 files have been changed. Wow. So here's my interface or type for the restaurants. It has a new field called phone number, which is either going to be string or null. And then there's the interfaces for like when you do a query to create a restaurant or a query to sort restaurants, they all now have this phone number field. And you can see phone number is added in all these places where you as a developer may have had to remember to add it all, which would be a pain in the butt. But we're handling all that for you automatically, which I think makes this a really compelling experience because making changes now, even if it's just one field, you can do it in like 5 seconds. And we've updated 20 different files for you. And again, you haven't lost scalability. You haven't lost security. You haven't lost anything. The only thing you've lost is an excuse to your supervisor saying, hey, it's taking time to do. Like, that's the only thing you've lost. Excuses.
Yeah, because they're like, it shouldn't take long. I'm about to, like, as a developer advocate, sometimes you have to make like a quick demo or something. I'm about to start using Amplication now that you showed me to just like spin up a quick backend and then like do the front end, build the front end on top of it.
Absolutely. And like, I know in past experiences, I've developed applications with other backend as a service providers for demos to work out real quick. But in the real world, like oftentimes developers are working with traditional REST API endpoints or GraphQL. Backend as a service providers sometimes use SDKs to simplify the process, but that's not a typical experience, especially in an enterprise environment where some developers might be aspiring to go to. With this, we're providing that same ease of use of building a backend, but for something that is enterprise ready, is designed to be used in the enterprise world. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting a enterprise quality tool and backend with the ease and simplicity of any like headless CMS or backend as a service product.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you mind if I check some of the comments? Because I did see a few questions come in, maybe one or two. Let me just put it on the screen. Basically, Pomeredis, I'm sorry again if I said your username wrong, but they said, if you want to change a behavior, do you add a new file that overrides behavior? And what happens if you change the underlying app in terms of adjusting your code?
So I'm gonna make some assumptions here that, like, let's say when a user creates a task, so we have our create task endpoint that you want to let's say hypothetically, you want to automatically make a task false, right? Like you want to hook into the data before it's written or something like that and just modify it. And you can do that. So I think I showed somewhere earlier where our task endpoint was. And if you just wrote code inside of there, awesome. That's all that you need in order to make it to work. And then when you make the changes on application and we send the pull request to GitHub, typically we should not overwrite it because we're using git diff to make the comparisons. And so we want to keep your code in place. There might come a point where you might run into some conflict with the code we generate and the code that you have. But again, just like rebasing or updating the branch that you're working on, you can just address the git diff on your own. However, we are working on a two-way bidirectional sync with GitHub such that we will keep your code, like we will keep our version of the application project up to date based on your code. That way, the next time we generate it, we're not necessarily git diffing on GitHub. We're already taking that into account while we generate the code. So typically you should be fine because git diff is a thing, but we're working on ways to make that experience better as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for that question, Petros, and thanks for correcting me on how to say your name or giving me an easier method. Actually, Lazar said, is there support for, I never know how to say this, but it's basically the thing for language translation.
Yeah,
so don't laugh at me.
The pronunciation is as simple as you would think, I-18N. And if I'm wrong,
okay.
if I'm wrong, I'm not acknowledging that. So, for support for I-18N, no.
Okay.
But we're building API endpoints. I don't know. Well, I guess you might want it with Swagger. The answer presently is no. However, we're working on a system for allowing plugins. So when we generate the code for you, you can hook in and make the modifications or add features to the code base. So theoretically, while it doesn't exist now, that's a feature that once we have plugin support, that our developers can create plugins in order to add that functionality.
Perfect. Cool. And now I learned how to say it.
So if you guys want to get started with contributing to Amplication, you can go to amplication.com. At the very top, you'll see it says Amplication is open source. So click on that, and that'll take you to our application repository. If you wanted to, you could just like clone the code locally, run it, and you'll get the same exact experience as you did on the website that I demoed earlier. Amplication is a free and open source tool. We will always have we'll always be working in the open source, working in the public for anyone and everyone to see. So if you don't want to run it on the website, you can run it locally. That's how you get to it. We have tons of different issues that are available for users if they want to contribute. If you have issues, you can report them. We also run campaigns from time to time. I say time to time. It's kind of like a regular thing. I think we've ran 2 or 3 of them this year so far that are like our blank issues for first timers, where we have a list of issues that we think would be good issues for people who are new to contributing to open source projects to as like their first project sort of thing. And usually for some of these, we offer some sort of swag, such as like t-shirts, sticker packs, just to like get developers feeling comfortable working in the public, working in open source, contributing to public repositories and stuff like that. So yeah. And if you don't feel comfortable quite yet getting straight into contributing code, still visit application.com. And feel free to join our Discord. Our Discord community is... Sorry.
It's really good Discord, though.
Yeah. Our Discord community is pretty active when it comes to like discussing like just anything and everything. Like right here, we have like this conversation about data structures and algorithms. We have members of the team discussing things. We support bugs and issues that people are taking. We take it like feature suggestions here. We have a ton of things going on in our Discord. So if you're not ready to contribute code, but you still just want to get involved with Amplication in our community, join our Discord.
Awesome.
That sounded like
Perfect.
a command. I'm sorry.
No, do it now. I'm kidding. Petros has another question that said, "What happens when your core code, I guess it's the application generated core code, has a new version? Is it silently incorporated through the next build, or is there a separate way to do the update?"
So I'm assuming what you're referring to, and I'm going to answer it as such, is that let's say you build a application with application version 0.13. We've rolled out 0.14, and now you want to build an app. Now you make an update to your application using 0.14, and what happens? So diff versions, what happens? Oh, okay, you said yes, exactly. I actually experienced that earlier today. Oh my god, I don't know if I can actually show this because I don't know if it will be here. Is this it? Okay, so this is an example of that where the YAMP application, was built with an older version of application. And without making any changes to the code, I just clicked create build or commit build, and it automatically created the pull request and provided all the updated files, and it also modified the files that needed to be updated because these were differences in the files generated from version 13 or 0.13 to 0.14. So if there's just a new version, you can just click commit build with no changes, and we'll create a pull request which has all the changes for the auto-generated file.
Awesome. Petra said this is awesome. I think so too. All right. We're getting to the end. This was really, really insightful. Now for my little non-technical questions that I like to ask. What's your favorite food? And what's your favorite Beyonce song? If you don't listen to Beyonce, what's your favorite song in general?
No, this is good. So for favorite food, it's a little difficult. My favorite food used to be sushi. I have become a vegetarian over the past 2 years, so it's like really difficult to find vegetarian sushi. I mean, yes, you can get an avocado roll, but that's not exciting. That's not what you go to get sushi for. So like now I'm kind of leaning more towards like vegetarian ramen. That's usually easier to
Ooh.
find. As far as my favorite Beyonce song, I'm not a Beyonce fan. That's not saying that I don't think she's talented. She definitely is incredibly talented. It's just generally not my style of music.
Yeah.
I actually wrote this down because I have this minor rant to get into. However, when it comes to like her songs, I definitely my favorite song of hers, and probably in like my top 100 songs of all time, is "Hold Up."
Oh, yeah, that sounds
Love it.
good. Hold up, they don't let me I get you.
Yeah.
And I'm vegetarian too. I've been vegetarian for all of my life. So I understand the struggle. Because back in the day, they did not have like all these like Burger King did not have a impossible burger. So
Nope.
essentially I was just getting a Happy Meal at McDonald's or whatever, taking the meat out and just taking the like little toy because I wanted to be like my friends.
I get it. I get it. It's side rant again. It's difficult being a vegetarian at times,
Yeah.
especially when your family isn't a vegetarian family.
Ooh.
I was a vegetarian once when I was in like my early 20s. I did it for a year and a half. Come Thanksgiving, I buy sliced tofurkey because I'm like, Mom, can you just heat this up and I'll eat the tofurkey? That's fine. I'll live with this. And I'm like, okay, this tofurkey turned out really good. I'm really surprised because this is like the deli sliced meat. Turns out, I didn't know this until years later
She
that
switched it out.
my grandma was just taking the turkey broth and pouring it onto the tofurkey.
Oh
No one decided to tell me this. So like, it's hard when your family is sabotaging you. And there was nothing malicious in my grandma. She's like, "Oh, the poor boy, he needs the turkey." I love my grandma. I will always love my grandma. I'm not even mad at her. It's
It's just
just hilarious.
hilarious. Yeah, that is so funny.
Anyway, my rant about Beyonce. Okay, here's my issue. It's nothing wrong with her. Grandma the middle attack. Yes. Okay. Issue with Beyonce. So in 2008, she releases a song called Telephone. Great song, good song, whatever. She does a remix with Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2008, Beyonce Lady Gaga video phone. Sorry, video phone.
I remember that video phone. Yep.
2009, Lady Gaga releases a single called Telephone with Beyonce. There's something weird about that. I don't like how within 1 year, these two artists are getting together with a song. It's a video phone. Every telephone is a video phone. There's something up about that. It doesn't sit well with me. It's such a stupid thing to complain about. I get it. But like, did they think we wouldn't notice? And we didn't notice. I didn't notice this until last night. I was going through a discography because I couldn't remember the name Hold Up.
Yeah.
I know the song, like I'm singing it to myself, but I could not put the name. So like I'm going through it. I see 2008 video phone. I'm like, oh, I like that song. I saw Lady Gaga. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the song. I really liked it because I used to like Lady Gaga. Then I saw Telephone. I'm like, wait, what?
You're like, what are y'all trying to do here?
Not an important rant. I only realized it 13 years later, but I think there's something sketchy about that, and I'm just putting that there for y'all to enjoy.
I love that. That was great. I think this is a perfect note to end on, a little rant about video phone and telephone. Bakari said this is hilarious. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot. I know I did. And I think this was a pretty fun stream. See you next Friday.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.